as you can hear in my previous videos where I reviewed the trombones, the trumpets, tuba, French horn, they did an outstanding job with those products already. And now you can imagine a saxophone has many valves and there's a lot of dynamic stuff going on. Maybe you can recall some lines of The Simpsons where they refer to saxophones as instruments that you have to hold in front of your mouth because pure passion is coming out of it, and you have to hold an instrument in front of it in order to make some good music. And once again, sample modeling has done an outstanding job, really amazing job on the saxophones. And I like to point out once again that without the products of sample modeling, I wouldn't have been able to make my last album, Spy Lounge, as well as the other James Bond rescore albums, for example, especially when it comes to the saxophones, because there's an amount of playability that's absolutely overwhelming. I mean, you can literally just plug in your keyboard and start to play. You can really get amazing sounds with, well, you have to invest some work of course, but it's really easy to use, and in this video I'm going to show you the saxophones. Now, the package comes with 4 saxophones, which is the baritone, the tenor saxophone, the alto saxophone, and the soprano saxophone. Okay, once again I'm going to use my MIDI breath controller because I mean, this is just the best. You can achieve the best effects with that. Of course, with a good keyboard and some work on your sequencer program, that'll do the trick as well. But it's just a whole nother feeling with the breath controller, because at the end we're talking about blown instruments, and with the breath controller it's as good as it gets. So standard setting. When you start to press your notes, you get a warning that there is no expression control. Now that's obviously because I have nothing connected. So now you can simply go into the bar up here, click load, and like with the trumpets, trombones, and so on, you have presets. You have presets for the keyboard control, you have presets for the wind controller, or what I use, the presets for the breath controller. Okay, and now you can start. Okay, this is the baritone saxophone, and you can go very deep with this one. And you could already hear they sound amazing. And I have just played with the breath controller and the keys. Now there's much more that you can do, and we're going to look at that now. Okay, so I'm just going to use my tenor saxophone, and you can hear there's a lot of stuff going on without even you doing something. So when you blow a note very hard, it does some kind of a squeaky high note. It does a, so the standard note is, now you can hear when you blow it hard, it does a little, and you have the same transition script and that stuff going on in the background that made the trumpets, trombones, French horns, and so on amazing already. So when you push your keys slowly, it goes slowly. And if you have more space between your keys, it does it even cooler. It does that all by itself, okay? Makes your life much easier, believe me. And then you got more stuff. When you play quick, it just does the usual transition. And now, of course, our beloved mod and pitch wheel. And the pitch wheel, now the saxophone is a very sensual instrument, so to speak, and you gotta play it with a lot of thought and a lot of care. And when you play more bluesy songs, sometimes you want to play around with the pitch wheel a little bit, just to give it some kind of a slight drift, you know, some kind of those bluesy notes a little. So I'm going to try it. Maybe it's going to be too over exaggerated, but usually I correct that in the post-production, so to speak. But I'm going to give it a try just so you can see what I mean. Now the bottom wheel is very important because, like I said, it's a sensual instrument. And when you hear actual saxophone players play, usually with the longer notes, they start to add a little vibrato, which makes it very kind of natural, almost like a voice. And that is very important. Let me play a little something so you can get the hang of it. So first of all, you got some cool features that you can add within the instrument, or you can do it in the post-production as well. You can add whole reverb, stuff like that, the way you like it. But that stuff is also already built in there, so you have some reverb time that you can add. Okay, and the reverb mix, which controls how much reverb there's going to be. Okay, and then you can pan the instrument within the SWAM-engine as well. Now you have other cool things that you control. For example, breath noise and key noise. And that makes it very realistic because on an actual saxophone recording you can hear the valves clapper. And now that's what that does. Now let's bring those values all the way up and you will hear what it does. Now in the options menu, you have a lot of cool effects that you can control. You see, you have expression, you can control the vibrato. This is all done within the SWAM-engine. This is an absolutely amazing thing. And to get stuff really dirty and bluesy, you can, for example, choose the growl. And I'm going to control it now via CC3, which is this button here. And I'm going to play a little bit. I bet you've heard songs where the saxophone plays this kind of dirty, sexy thing, and this is the Flutter tongue, and you can hear what it does. And there's a lot of cool stuff that you can adjust. For example, just to pick one out, the vibrato rate. I'm going to show you what this does. So the vibrato is this, and you can adjust how fast that is. Depending on what song you're going to play, this can be very useful when you play a slow, groovy song. You might want to bring this down a little or when you play fast song, maybe bring it up a little, but not too much. I'm going to show you what it does. Just for you to know, I've deleted all the trumpet, trombones, French horn, and tuba, just because so it doesn't get too overwhelming and it doesn't feature too much sounds. It doesn't feature too many sounds. Okay, so first of all, we're going to take care of the baritone saxophone. Again, just improvising a little. Okay, so now you can see the power behind the sample modeling saxophones. If you want to do music with those instruments, that is my absolute and final recommendation, because those instruments are as good as they get. Okay? And now at the end, I'd like to show you some songs in which I used those saxophones, and you can hear how powerful and how amazing they really sound. And if you stick around a little, we're going to take a look at the flutes the next time. So I hope you stay tuned.